Welcome guys. Before I see, we have a question from Math Paper 2 for the 2022 for the GCE. So as we can see, the question is coming from the topic of trigonometry. And as you can see, we are dealing with a non-right angle triangle. Therefore, we can use cosine rule or sine rule to find the distance or the angle. So let us read through the question. So in the diagram, we have the distance x, y, which is equal to 6 centimeters. So this is our distance, 6 centimeters. Then we have angle y, x, z equals to 60 degrees. So the middle leader is where the angle is z located. And angle x, y, z is equal to 80 degrees. So now, if we look at now the question, so we are going to calculate length. So length is the distance. So we want the distance of YZ. So where is YZ? So this is our YZ. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to represent these distances with their corresponding angles. So what are we talking about? So what you have to do here is, the angle with its corresponding distance must be denoted by small letter x. So this distance is going with small letter x. Then the distance yx, this one is in line with the angle y. So here I'm going to put small letter y. Then what over this? This will be small letter z. Now, upon reaching here, are we going to use sine rule or are we going to use cosine rule? So since you are given one distance and you are told to find the second distance, therefore use the sine rule. If it was cosine rule, you are supposed to be given two distances and you are told to find the third distance. That's when you are supposed to use the cosine rule. So to find this distance, my focus is on yz. So which letter is representing yz? So it's my x. So I'm going to say x over sine capital letter x. Then it is equal to, so since this is what we want, we have two letters now. We have letter z and letter y. Which one are we going to use? You have to be careful. You have to use the letter which has the distance. So we are going to use z over sine capital letter z. So we have formed the formula according to the information that we have. So for x, I'm just going to say x over sine. What is the angle corresponding to this x? So the angle corresponding to this x is 60 degrees. So I'm going to say sine 60 degrees. Here we need to substitute the distance that we have, which is 6 centimeters. So I'm going to say 6 centimeters over sine. What is the angle for z? This one. Now, since we have the two angles, we can find the third angles. So the third angle will be, we need to add 80 plus 60 will give us 140. Then we subtract the sum from 180. So 180 minus 140 is equal to 40. So it means here there is a 40 because the sum of the three angles of a triangle adds up to 180. So here I'm going to say sine 40, then you cross multiply. So our target is to solve for x. So I'm going to say sine 40 degrees, x is equal to sine 60 degrees multiplied by this 60 centimeters. Then to solve for x, I'm going to say sine 40 degrees over sine 40 degrees. Then what is my x? So you just have to now punch on your calculator. So sine 60 times 6 centimeters divided by sine 40. So according to my calculator, I'm getting 8.08 centimeters. So this is the distance that we have here. So 8.08 centimeters, right? So we are done with the first question. So now let's deal with the second question. So the second question is where we want to find out the area of triangle XYZ. So now, which formula are we supposed to use for area? So we are supposed to use the area rule. So the formula is given by this. So we're going to say area is equal to, you write half, then the two letters that comes are the two distances that you have. So in our case, the distance for X, we have it. The distance for Z, we have it. So we are going to use these two letters. So we are going to say X, Z, sine. Which angle are we supposed to use? So we are supposed to use the angle formed by those two distances. So these two distances are forming this angle. So you say sine Y. Therefore, area is equal to half. What is the distance for X? Is 8.08 times Z. The distance for Z is 6. Sine, what is Y? Y is 80 degrees. So we can now punch this on the calculator. So I'm going to say 8.08 times 6 times sine 80. So I'm getting 47.0 divided by 2. So my final answer is 23.87, which is 0.9 centimeters. Remember, area must be raised to the power 2. So this is what you're supposed to do. Now, let's move on to this one. Shortest distance from X. So we are coming from X here to YZ. So X to YZ. So this distance represented by these two letters is what we are going to call as our base. Why? Because the area for the shortest distance is equal to 2 multiplied by area divided by the base, which is area is equal to, shortest distance is equal to times what's our area is 23.9 over what's our base. So the base is this distance in line with the angle X. So the distance is 8.08. So I'm going to punch that. So I'm getting my final answer as 5.92 centimeters. So this is our shortest distance. And the shortest distance, the number must be less than the distances that you have. As we can see, 5 point something is less than 6 is also less than that distance. Now, what of this question where we want to now solve the equation tan theta is equal to 2.75 for this. So how can we solve for this one? So let's free up some space. So now, since we are given a range from 0 up to 360, it means we need to find the two angles for tan in which the tan is positive. So tan is positive in the first quadrant and in the third quadrant. First quadrant 0 to 90. Third quadrant is 180 to 270. So we need two angles from those two quadrant. So let's find the first one. So you say tan of theta is equal to 2.75. So the same way we do, we are going to shift tan to the right side so that we have theta is equal to, then this becomes tan inverse of 2.75. So on your calculator, you just have to press shift tan 2.75. So I'm getting 70.0 degrees. This is our first angle because this one is in the first quadrant. Remember, first quadrant is from 0 up to 90, and we can see that this is our number within that range. Then the second angle, I'm going just to use letter X. We're going to say 180 plus the same angle that we have found, which is this one is same as 250, and we know that 250 is within the third quadrant because third quadrant runs from 180 degrees up to 270. We know that 250 is within this range. So that's it for this video. If you find this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.